everyone. Welcome to Clarity English Practice, the podcast where you can improve your English naturally, one conversation at a time. Whether you want better speaking, listening, or everyday vocabulary, you're in the right place.
Hi, everyone. I'm David, and I'm excited to practice English with you through fun, simple, and real-life conversations.
Have you ever sat there watching someone effortlessly chat with a native English speaker and thought, how are they doing that? Meanwhile, you've spent years studying grammar rules only to freeze up the second someone asks you a basic question. Here is the secret. Your brain was never built to learn from boring grammar charts. It was built to absorb language through your ears. In this lesson, where you can improve your English just by listening, 40 minutes of real English listening practice, B1, B2, you will train your mind to understand real, natural English without translating a single word in your head.
That hits so close to home, Emily. So many learners feel totally stuck at the intermediate level because they try to overanalyze every single syllable they hear. It is exhausting. But when you just lower your shoulders, take a deep breath, and listen to real human conversations, your brain starts connecting the dots automatically. The most effective strategy to improve English listening comprehension is consistent, stress-free exposure.
100%. You know, David, people reach out to us all the time asking about the fastest way to improve your English listening, intermediate English podcast B1, B2 practice, and my answer is always the exact same. Daily immersion through natural listening is what changes everything.
It truly is a game changer. When you listen to natural dialogue every day, you aren't just memorizing random vocabulary. You get to see how those words actually live inside real sentences. You feel the rhythm, the friendly tone, and those natural, unscripted pauses that native speakers use all the time.
Today, we are diving into real, relatable stuff. Everything from morning chaos and office conversations to personal growth and dream travel trips. All you have to do is grab a warm drink, sit back, listen closely, and let the language flow naturally into your mind.
Let us start with something we all go through every single day: morning routines. Emily, how do you usually start your morning? And how can someone turn those first waking hours into an effortless English practice session?
Let us be real. Mornings can feel pretty chaotic. You snooze your alarm, rush to make breakfast, and search for your car keys. When people search for a morning routine to improve your English, easy English podcast for conversation practice, they want simple habits that fit seamlessly into a busy morning without adding stress. For me, while I am brewing my morning coffee or stretching for 10 minutes, I always turn on an English podcast or a cozy audio stream in the background.
That is the ultimate example of passive listening. You do not need to sit at a desk with a highlighter and a heavy notebook. You can listen while pouring your iced coffee, making your bed, or commuting to work. Even if someone started out with basic English for beginners, stepping up to real-life conversational podcasts during their morning routine accelerates their progress dramatically.
Exactly. Passive listening acts like background music for your brain. It gets you comfortable with the cadence and sounds of American English. Even if you aren't catching every single word, your subconscious mind is actively piecing the puzzle together.
What about breakfast, Emily? Are you a fancy gourmet cook in the morning, or do you keep it quick?
Oh, definitely quick. Usually it is a simple bowl of warm oatmeal topped with fresh berries and almonds, or scrambled eggs on whole grain toast. I need something that keeps my energy steady so I do not crash before noon. What about you, David?
I am a coffee lover first and a human second. I brew a fresh cup of dark roast, grab a piece of toast with peanut butter, and sit down for 5 quiet minutes. Listening to an easy English podcast while organizing my day puts me in such a productive headspace. I also keep a daily journal on my desk where I jot down my top 3 goals in English.
Writing down your daily goals in English is such a power move. it gently forces your brain to operate in English the moment you wake up. When you start thinking in your target language first thing in the morning, speaking and understanding it later in the day feels so much more natural.
It really does. And that brings us to the ultimate boss fight that almost every intermediate learner faces: the habit of overthinking and translating every sentence back into their native language before speaking.
Oh, that translation trap is a real energy drain. Picture this. Someone asks you a quick question at work. If you translate their words into your native language, craft your reply, translate it back to English, and check your grammar, by the time you are ready to answer, the conversation has already moved 3 topics ahead.
So, how can our listeners break free from that mental loop?
The secret is learning language in natural chunks rather than isolated single words. Instead of just memorizing the word decision, learn the natural phrase, make a quick decision. When you absorb complete phrases, your brain pulls them up instantly without needing to translate piece by piece.
I love that. Another fun trick is narrating your daily life out loud in simple English when you are by yourself. If you were washing dishes, tell yourself, okay, washing this coffee mug, drying it off, and putting it away. It sounds a little silly, but it builds a direct bridge between physical actions and English vocabulary.
That is brilliant, David. Now, let us tackle another huge topic our listeners bring up constantly: real-world English versus textbook English. Textbook English can sound so robotic. In school, we were taught to say, "Hello, how are you today?" and reply, "I am fine, thank you. And you?" But if you say that at a local coffee shop in North America, you sound like an AI bot. Right. In real life, you will hear people say, "Hey, how's it going?" Or, "What have you been up to?" Or, "How's your week treating you?"
And the replies are super casual, like, not bad, just keeping busy, or can't complain, how about yourself?
Another big shocker for learners is connected speech. Native speakers do not pronounce every single word separately. We mash them together so the conversation flows smoothly. "What are you going to do?" effortlessly turns into, "What you gonna do?"
Or I have got to go becomes I gotta go. When learners do not expect connected speech, they panic because they are listening for distinct textbook-style words that native speakers just don't say out loud.
Exactly. But when you tune into real conversations regularly, your ears adjust to those smooth shortcuts. You stop stressing over every individual sound and start catching the overall meaning naturally.
Speaking of real-world scenarios, let us talk about workplace communication. So many intermediate learners need English for their careers, whether it's sending daily emails, hopping on Zoom calls, or presenting to team members.
Workplace English is all about hitting that sweet spot between confidence and polite collaboration. David, what is your go-to phrase when you need to disagree with someone in a meeting without making things awkward?
Instead of saying, "you are wrong," which can instantly tense up the room, I like saying, "I see where you're coming from, but have we considered looking at it from another angle?" Or, "That's an interesting idea, though I do have a quick question about our timeline."
Those phrases are absolute gold. They validate the other person while letting you share your perspective smoothly. In American workplace culture, softeners like perhaps, maybe, or a bit help keep interactions friendly and constructive.
Definitely. Saying this project is late feels very tense, but saying we are running a bit behind schedule on this project keeps the focus on problem solving as a team.
What about when you miss something in a fast-paced virtual meeting? A lot of learners stay silent because they're embarrassed to ask for repetition.
We have all been there, but asking for clarity is completely normal. Even native speakers do it constantly. You can simply say, "Could you clarify what you mean by that?" Or, "Would you mind expanding a bit on that last point?"
Or even better, just to make sure we're on the same page, are you saying we need this wrapped up by Friday? That shows you are actively engaged and care about doing great work.
Active listening in action. Now, Emily, let us switch gears and talk about life balance, productivity, and avoiding burnout. Modern schedules can feel completely overwhelming. How do you keep your head above water when your to-do list is endless?
Time blocking saves my sanity. I organize my day using the classic Eisenhower matrix, dividing tasks into what is urgent and important versus what can wait.
That keeps you focused on what actually moves the needle, instead of constantly putting out tiny fires or getting lost in notification spiral. Finding an English podcast for easy English conversation, change your life one day at a time, is such a comforting reminder that big transformations happen through tiny, consistent choices made every day.
Exactly. I set aside my mornings for deep work. No social media, no random tab switching, just 45 minutes of solid focus, followed by a 10-minute break.
Do you actually step away from your desk during those breaks?
Always. I step away from the laptop, grab a glass of water, step outside for fresh air or stretch. Giving your brain actual breathing room prevents mental fatigue and keeps your focus sharp all day long.
That is 100% true for language learning too. Trying to cram English grammar for 6 grueling hours once a week will leave you exhausted and frustrated. But immersing yourself for 30 to 40 minutes a day builds momentum that sticks forever.
Small daily habits stack up into unbelievable results. If you listen to English for 40 minutes today and 40 minutes tomorrow, 6 months from now, your listening comprehension will feel practically effortless.
Let us touch on wellness and exercise. Emily, what do you do to shake off stress and keep your energy high?
I am a huge fan of outdoor walks and evening jogs when the sunset cools things down. Being out in nature completely resets my brain after staring at screens all day. I also do strength training at home a few times a week with simple resistance bands.
Exercise is pure magic for your brain. Physical movement boosts endorphins, reduces anxiety, and literally sharpens your memory and learning capacity.
Which means when your stress is low, your brain absorbs new English phrases like a sponge.
So true. Personally, I love yoga and swimming. Yoga keeps me grounded and present, which is huge because anxiety is the ultimate mood killer when speaking a new language. When you get nervous, your brain freezes up and blocks words you actually know.
Language experts call that the affective filter. When you feel relaxed, happy, and safe, your filter is low and language flows in naturally. But if you are terrified of making a mistake, your brain throws up a giant defensive wall.
So here is your official permission slip. Stop worrying about making mistakes. Making a mistake is not proof that you're failing. It's proof that you're putting yourself out there and growing.
Every single fluent speaker you admire has made thousands of hilarious and awkward mistakes along the way. The only way to avoid mistakes is to never open your mouth, and that won't get you anywhere.
Amen to that. Now, let us talk about travel, culture, and adventure. Exploring new places is one of the biggest reasons people fall in love with learning English. Emily, what is one of your absolute favorite travel memories here in the U.S.?
A couple of summers ago, I took an unforgettable road trip along the coast of Maine. I spent a week driving through tiny coastal towns, eating fresh lobster rolls by the ocean, and chatting with local shopkeepers. The breathtaking scenery was amazing, but the genuine conversations with locals made it unforgettable.
Travel breaks down barriers. It introduces you to unique regional accents, local humor, and real culture. English stops being a subject in a textbook and becomes a bridge to real human connection.
Exactly. Whether you are ordering coffee at a diner, asking for directions near Central Park in New York, or checking into a hotel in San Francisco, nobody is grading your grammar. They just want to connect and help you out.
Let us try out a few smooth travel phrases. Imagine you were sitting at a cozy restaurant. Emily, how would you order politely?
Instead of a direct, "give me a sandwich," I'd say, "I'll have the grilled chicken sandwich, please." Or, "Could I grab the lunch special?"
And if you have allergies or dietary preferences, you can easily ask, "Does this have any nuts in it?" Or, can I get this prepared dairy-free?
And when you're ready to wrap up and leave,
Just catch your server's eye and say, could we get the check whenever you have a second? Or can we split the bill on 2 cards if you're out with friends?
super natural and polite. What if you're wandering around Boston and get completely lost?
Just smile and say, excuse me, do you know the easiest way to get to the nearest subway station? Or is the museum close enough to walk to from here?
Starting with, excuse me, or sorry to bother you, instantly opens the door for a friendly, helpful interaction.
Now, let us talk about tech and modern life. Technology gives us access to endless podcasts and instant connection, but it can also trap us in mindless scrolling. Emily, how do you keep technology from stealing your focus?
It takes real intention. I keep my phone completely out of the bedroom at night, so I don't scroll before sleep or start my morning staring at notifications. I also set strict app limits.
Reclaiming your time gives you back precious hours every single week. If you trade just 30 minutes of mindless scrolling for listening to natural English, that adds up to over 3 hours of exposure every week.
That's over 150 hours of real English immersion a year. That simple shift completely rewires your fluency.
You can even switch your phone, laptop, and favorite video games to English. It's a free passive immersion hack that teaches you modern tech vocabulary effortlessly.
Love that tip. Now, let us talk about stories, books, and personal growth. Stories trigger our imagination and emotions, making new vocabulary stick way better than memorizing dry lists of definitions.
What genres do you love diving into, Emily?
I am a big fan of psychology, human behavior, biographies, and American history. Reading about how real people navigated tough challenges always inspires me.
Nonfiction is great for practical vocabulary, while fiction teaches you descriptive language, slang, and emotional depth.
If a full novel feels intimidating, try audiobooks or graded readers designed for intermediate learners. You get swept up in a story without feeling overwhelmed.
And remember, you don't need to understand 100% of the words to follow what's happening. Use context clues. If you grasp 75% of a sentence, your brain can easily infer the rest.
Let us touch on pronunciation and accents. So many learners feel self-conscious about their accent, but having an accent just means you are courageous enough to speak more than one language.
Accent marks identity. Fluency isn't about sounding like a movie star. It's about clear, confident communication.
Clear communication comes down to rhythm, word stress, and clear vowels. For instance, notice how the stress changes between photograph and photographer.
English is a stress-timed language. We emphasize content words like nouns and main verbs while gliding right over smaller connector words.
Take this sentence. I am going to the store to buy some fresh milk. Notice how going, store, buy, fresh, and milk carry the melody, while the rest blend together softly.
I'm going to the store to buy some fresh milk. Practicing that natural rhythm out loud, a technique called shadowing, instantly makes your speech sound more fluid. Consistent English speaking practice through shadowing turns passive listening into active, effortless speech.
Shadowing is so simple. Just pause a sentence you hear, repeat it out loud, and copy the speaker's rhythm, pitch, and energy.
5 minutes of daily shadowing works absolute wonders for your confidence.
Now, let us talk about deep connections and making real friends in English. At the end of the day, language is all about human warmth. How can someone show genuine empathy and interest in conversation?
Active listening. Instead of quick one-word answers like good or yes, expand your thoughts and toss a friendly question back.
If a friend asks, "How was your weekend?" instead of, "It was fine," try, "It was super relaxing. I went for a walk in Central Park and caught up on a great book. How was yours?"
That keeps the vibe going. And when someone shares exciting news, match their energy with, "That's amazing news," or "I'm so thrilled for you."
If they are having a rough day, show genuine care. I am so sorry you're going through that, or I'm here if you need anything at all.
Those heart-to-heart expressions build real friendships that go way beyond language practice.
Learning English is a long-haul journey, a marathon, not a sprint. You will have weeks where you feel unstoppable and weeks where you hit a plateau.
That intermediate plateau is totally normal. At the start, every new phrase feels like a huge win. Later on, progress feels subtle because you are refining your understanding rather than starting from scratch.
When progress feels slow, look back at where you started a year ago. Celebrate every single win, whether you understood a podcast without subtitles or ordered coffee without stuttering.
Consistency beats intensity every single time. Daily listening, gentle practice, and a positive mindset will get you to total fluency.
Let us do a quick wrap-up of our key takeaways from today's chat.
First, stop translating in your head. Absorb language in complete, natural phrases.
Second, embrace authentic, everyday English, including connected speech and casual greetings.
Third, build English into your daily life through passive background listening during chores and dedicated active listening when you can. Fourth, lose the fear of making mistakes. Imperfect action beats silent perfection every single time. Fifth, practice shadowing to transform what you hear into smooth, confident speech.
And finally, be kind to yourself. Enjoy the process and trust that every minute spent listening moves you closer to your goals.
You should be so proud of yourself for investing this time today to level up your mind and language skills.
If this conversation brought a smile to your face, made you feel inspired, or gave you that extra spark of confidence, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join our family here at Clarity English Practice. Leave a comment down below telling us your favorite part of today's chat, or tell us what topic we should take on next. Go rock your day, keep listening, and remember, you've totally got this. See you in the next one.